Hello and welcome back to Thrashville, Tennessee, as the Minnesota girls black National Elite team faces off against the Junior Bruins Roses assembly. Roses, Bruins going into a little bit of a salty pretzel here as they fire some shots in on their goaltender, number 30. We don't have a scouting report on this young lady, so we're going to watch the opponent's goalie. She's got some size, so she moves all right. We'll fill you in on a little bit about what's going on here at the Bellevue Ice Center as a player from Boston decides to do a flyby on Minnesota. This is a semifinal game. This is moving day, Sunday, championship Sunday, as Minnesota girls take on the Boston Bruins. Tell you a little bit how these teams got here. The Boston Bruins defeated the Manitoba Junior Ice 3-1 yesterday. And Minnesota girls black beat the Connecticut Junior Rangers by a tune of 2-0. Their third shutout in a row, with superstar Kayla Eaton backing up a tremendous defensive core of players, limiting opportunities, and the offense is keeping the puck in the offensive zone. So our forwards, defense, goalie, everything working together. On the other side of the building, we've got a game between the Western Selects and Toronto Pro Hockey. So teams from all over North America are playing in this tournament. We've got Western Selects beat Team Minnesota Purple 5-1, and Toronto Pro Hockey beating Minnesota Machine Orange 2-0. So there's only one Minnesota team left. Again, the four teams remaining: Minnesota National Elite, we've got Boston, we've got Western Selects, and we've got Toronto. So we've got East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, and Canada represented in the Final Four, the Frozen Four of the Rose Series 2024 Cowgirl Shootout. We've got our technical director just stepped in with a scoring update. It sounds like we have a score on the other side as the game began a little bit earlier than ours. The score is Toronto 2, Western Selects 1. So what could become a high-scoring affair on the other side of the ice. We're hoping to keep this one close. Minnesota Girls Black National Elite has pitched 3 shutouts in a row. So a low-scoring game might do well for us. Minnesota has scored first in all 5 contests. Minnesota has not surrendered a lead. So we're just going to have to see what happens to Team Minnesota Black National Elite. Should things not go their way early, how will they respond? For Boston, they're one of those teams that just kind of crept in here. The rumor is that they're without some of their star power. They're not the Boston of years ago. Watching Minnesota and Boston is a little bit of a deja vu for me, as we've been here before. So, ref tries to drop the puck. It's Christian and Bundy back behind Volkers. Newer, Prosser. Minnesota gains the offensive zone. So thank you guys all so much for being a part of this broadcast, being a part of this tournament, as Christian sidesteps a defender and hands to Newer. Newer rips the shot. Blocker to side to Prosser. Prosser gets on the stick of Volkers. Just gets on her toe. So we're fast and furious this thing. Let's go. Battling in the corner. Boston takes a walk. Near wall, shut down. It's Evelyn Volkers. She tries to throw to Newer's backhand. It's chipped in on net and pushed aside by the keeper for the Bruins. Zoe Newer finds some room to work. She tries to play to Harns. Harns gets pinned to the wall, and it's Penny from Boston, number 73, who's able to scoop it loose. Addie Preston comes in. She plays back to Nyberg. Piper Nyberg Puck gets behind her, and it's out. Ellie Hardwick from Warroad throws a pass out to Harns. Harns tries to drop to Preston. It's a little bit behind her. It's across now to Hardwick. Hardwick with a long shot sailing wide. Addie Preston works off the wall. Back to Hardwick. We're going to keep trying this, ladies and gentlemen. Shot blocked in front by Boston. Boston chips one out, chips one deep. Ellie Hardwick to retrieve. She does a little forehand, backhand fake. Deception is everything. Control is an illusion. Minnesota is for real. Harns' end of shift as she tries to track one down, and Bundy plays one to Maeve McDonough. Maeve McDonough from St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin. Probably the best player in the Dairyland, as she does a little keep and spin in front of the Boston coach. He's amused. And puck is sent in deep. They say no ice, play on. Stevens tries to get in the play. Zins captures the blue line and sends it back deep. So we got to get a forecheck here. When a player has the puck on her backhand with her head down, that's the time to arrive. Puck gets slid out front. Stevens is there. So player to watch, number 77, Adriana Stevens, likes to find soft spots in front of the net. Generally can convert on scoring attempts, but she's one of those players that likes to hang out in front. She's going to let Nolander and Volker, or Amelia Donahue, set her up. Bundy puts the puck deep. Minnesota in full control so far. The ice looks great here. It's beautiful shape. This is the premier rink of the three. We're going to have to rank Nolensville a third place as Bundy rips a long shot, gets shin pads, and Allie Zins is sent to go heel toe to Bundy. Bundy's got speed. Bundy pulls in wide. She slides over to Newer. Zoe was tied up. Bundy would have done well to go to the net. Bundy up to Volkers. Volkers is tied up. Kilborn picks up a loose puck, sends it in, and that would be technically the first shot, not a scoring chance, but also the first defensive zone draw for Minnesota as they've dominated the play. 3 minutes have passed in the first period. Bailey, Goldsworth, and we've got a chance here. Willow's got some speed. Willow walks in. She's all alone. She pulls it. She tucks it in. Good morning. Good night. Oh, yeah. Willow Harns doesn't have the size, but she has more than enough speed to get past an outstretched defender and then an outstretched goalie. Fantastic job, Willow. Willow is a 5th grader. She lives in the Rochester, Minnesota area. She's, I believe, our most southern-born player or resident on Team Minnesota. Team Minnesota has players hailing from as far north as Warroad, Minnesota, as far west as Orono-Wayzata Lakes District. Players from Forest Lake and Chisago Lindstrom, Minnesota, make up the most eastern players. And Willow Harns is your goal scorer here as we're 1-0 in the first period. Puck rimmed around. Christian goes to gather it. Christian plays back to Bundy. Bundy tries to play up. Donahue chips it to McDonough. Puck is thrown to the far wall. There's no one there. We got to fill these lanes. Christian picks up a puck. She slams it up to Stevens. Stevens tries to play past the defenseman Barnes. Barnes can clear but can't break the blue. Nolander gets taken down on the far wall. Donahue tries to set something up. She goes forehand, backhand, back to Nolander. Nolander spins. She falls again. Seeing the bigger, stronger players are having more of an effect now that these girls are about 12 years old. Minnesota Girls Black National Elite Team is the winner of this tournament the last 3 years, so Semifinal Sunday, no big deal, just another walk in the park, as it seems. We'll see if they can continue this rampage as Christian whiffs on a puck. Number 10 comes in. She tries to shoot a backhand. It doesn't get on net, but a good chance nonetheless. 8:30 in the morning was the start of this game, and the girls are still a little sleepy. Bundy counteracts Daniel. We've got a 3-on-2 the other way. Puck played up to Volkers on the backhand. She gets stepped up on. Number 4 from Boston clears it back to Nyberg. Nyberg to Hardwick. Hardwick goes to Prosser. Prosser was trying to go the other way. She gets involved. And Zoe Neuer with the keep. Long shot from Prosser. Easily steered aside by Boston. They've got numbers, they've got speed, they've got size, they've got strength. What becomes maybe a 2-on-1 turns into a slip and slide. 3 Boston players in the corner as Palmer Prosser gathers. She can't get the handle. Neuer tries to pull. Prosser again. And the puck sails in on Kayla. Kayla Eaton is our goalie. She's from Maryland, joining Team Minnesota for the first time. She's been victimized by Team Minnesota in the past. She says, if you can't beat them, why not join them? As we're going to have an icing here with Minnesota getting a little excited with the face-off win. So Bundy and Zins on defense. Zoe Neuer at forward. Normally our center, we're trying to spring her. We're going to run the Jerry Springer play, the frozen turkey, as puck gets circled around by Boston. Gained by Volker. She's got room to work. Confident skater plays up to Neuer. Puck to the end wall of Boston. Pinney goes to gather it. Pinney plays around the wall. Puck gets slowed up. Bailey is not sure what to do. We got to make decisions quickly. We can make mistakes, but we got to make decisions. Willow, the lone goal scorer, plays one back to Zins. Zins with a long shot deflected wide. Boston doesn't look like they have an answer. We've seen, Willow. Willow goes forehand, backhand, forehand, sails one into the far side. Goalie makes a sprawling save as Boston just chips out. So what we're going to be looking at here is another icing. So we've seen all of Boston's lines. They have one coach on their bench. He doesn't seem to have a lot of answers. He's got his hands in his pocket, so we'll see what he can pull out here in the first period. Face-off won by Boston. They rim it around. Defense by Hardwick comes down to the hash. Pretty typical of this Minnesota girls Black National Elite team to play aggressively as Preston picks one up. She centers. Hardwick picks it up. She keeps the zone. Preston tries to chip one to Harns. It's picked up by Boston. Christian is there. Christian plays it back up the wall. Harns has Preston open, elects to shoot. Picks up shin pads. Centering attempt by Preston block. She plays to the far side. Boston is behind Minnesota until they're not. Swim crawls to center as she plays it to Christian. Christian's got the puck on her forehand. She tries to stretch a pass to Neuer. Sorry, Maeve McDonough. McDonough and Neuer, very similar look to these players as Daniel from Boston and Christian enter your living room. Hardwick picks up a puck. She's all alone. She gathers the puck again, plays far side to Stevens. Stevens can't get the handle. Nolander is there, but it looks like Minnesota's going to have to engineer a breakout here. We've got Stevens, Nolander, Donahue. So Donahue's looking for a face-off win. Nyberg and Bundy, the two Lakeville defensemen, look to defend. Tied up on the draw. Face-off win by Boston. They walk in. It's a 2-on-1. High shot blocked by Kayla as it's not high enough and catches the shoulder of Kayla Eaton. Puck is played to the corner. Centering attempt to Donahue. Donahue chips it to the side as Nolander can't get the handle. She plays it back to Philbin. Philbin is a player we've seen over the years in these contests. She's often outsized, never outmatched. Eaton tries to glove. Bundy goes backhand to forehand. She tries to chip one to Stevens. Stevens is leaving the zone a little early. Coaches may be getting a little impatient, telling the girls to vacate the premises. Philbin with a long shot. Nyberg maybe gets a glove on it, but Kayla Eaton swallows it up. So a much-needed line change. McDonough, Donahue, and Stevens were end of shift. We're going to need to get this puck into the offensive zone. Score is 1-0 Minnesota as we have under 6 minutes left. They haven't started the clock yet, but here we go. So under 6 minutes in the first, Minnesota with an early lead. Minnesota has taken the lead in all 6 of their games. They have never played from behind in this tournament. So a far cry from years past where as Zoe Neuer catches a puck with her hand, Penny plays it back. Hardwick finds some room to work. She crosses the blue. Long shot, gets shin pads. She plays it back to Volkers behind the net. Volkers with a little alley-oop spin. Up the wall for Hardwick. She gets her blades in the way and Prosser dumps in. It's on net. Try and keep the net in frame here. Things come at you fast as Neuer does a little board slip. Puck gets knocked loose and Zins is there to encapsulate the blue line. Long shot tipped wide. Neuer's first on it. She circles off the elbow. Puck gets knocked back to Zins. Long shot tipped by Evelyn Volkers. Volkers plays it back and it's intercepted. Boston's got speed. Boston's got numbers. And Boston gains around Zins. Centering attempt. Gets paddle. Played to Prosser. Played to Volkers. Quickly played to Preston. I don't think she was quite ready for that. Preston picks up a puck. She's standing still. And they try to build some speed through neutral, but it's Boston's puck. The fans want Dietzig to go, and go she does. She goes all the way down to the goal line where Bundy intercepts. Bundy to McDonough. McDonough with a nice flip. Girls are skating hard this morning. It's good to see. Christian comes in with a pinch. Puck comes over her blade, and it's all the way down. They're going to call this an icing. Offensive zone draw will be played by McDonough, Harns, and Preston. Preston, a very high percentage face-off winner here. So we'll see if they're able to work this drive-by play. Addie is going to likely play it with her backhand to McDonough. Maeve's going to try and get a quick shot off. Maeve walks in, gets tied up. Puck still through with Preston's strong stick. Rib to the far side. It's Hardwick battling with Boston. Hardwick holds the wall, bounces the boards. Holds it on a second attempt. The third attempt is loose. Ellie jams the wall. We should be playing to possess this puck. Puck is played down to Boston. They're going to engineer a breakout. It's Abel off the wall. Christian tries to hold. McDonough sends one deep, and we all know the play. Coordinated attack to try and regain this puck. We call that a forecheck. And the forecheck is done well. Adriana Stevens, F1. Donahue, F2. Over the top was Nolander, but she she kind of dove on the wrong side of the play, which allowed an escape. Christian gathers a puck on her forehand. She plays up the wall to Stevens. Stevens turns, fires one off the heels of Nolander. Elena can't get the handle. Puck is back to Hardwick. Ellie Hardwick takes takes a knee as the puck is played to Boston. So Nyberg, the Lakeville product. Nice backhand to Nolander. Nolander's building speed through neutral. Stevens holds up. Long shot from Nolander, easily go up from Boston. So Boston is wearing their bright yellow uniforms. They match the walls and the ceilings here. They kind of blend in with the neon yellow marigold, if you will, Predators colors. Minnesota in their new black threads with white and purple trim. These jerseys are going to be auctioned off on eBay for millions if things go correctly, because these jerseys have never fell behind. And now in their 6th game, this is the semifinals of the Rose Series. Thank you to everyone at home watching. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. As Boston dumps one in. Kayla looks to play the puck, lets it go to center. Bundy smartly plays it back to the corner. Nothing bad can happen from the corner, especially when we've got defense like Piper Nyberg. She settles the puck down. Volkers plays one out. It's gathered at neutral. Boston looks to change. 4 out of 5 fresh feet from Boston. Bouncing puck hits center, tapped in the middle. Volkers plays it back to the Bruins. Junior Bruins play to Zins. Zins tries to go far side to Preston. Preston regroups, moves the puck up to Willow. Willow gets rubbed out. We're starting to see size and strength play a big factor in these games as Christian comes into pinch. She's unsuccessful. But in the end, Addie Preston gathers a puck. She ties up with number 10. Boston trying to hand the puck off as Christian steps up at the blue line. Zins retrieves, and throws a slow far side pass to Maeve McDonough, who gets stripped by Dietzich. Christian turns. She peels it back once, twice, 3 times, gains a little space, plays one to Harns. Harns chips it into the offensive zone. Boston jams the wall. Oh, a nice wide pull by Willow, sets up McDonough. McDonough centering attempt block. Christian comes in. She stays to play. Puck played to center. Willow Harns throws one in. Oh! Elena Nolander with a little stop and go. And wow, we had a first period with very few whistles. We're going to go check the other side on semifinal Sunday and see what's going on with the Western Selects in Toronto. Last we checked, it was a 2-1 game. We're finding out that it may be a 3-1 lead for Toronto. So like I said, 4 regions of this North American Championship are represented. Minnesota Girls Black, nationally elite, representing the Midwest. Boston Bruins, representing the East Coast. Western Selects have players from Arizona, New Mexico, and California. And Toronto Pro Hockey, representing the Great White North. So we watched a Boston-Toronto NHL game last night. Boston was up about 4-1 by the time we tuned out of that one. So hopefully the NHL team used up all the goals that Boston has as Minnesota holds a 1-0 lead. 15-minute periods means 30 minutes of stop time hockey. Parents are excited. They're making some noise. Making some noise for their young pride and joys. Kayla Eaton skates back to the crease. She dominates. She's got some stripes on her breezers in the terrapin style Maryland flag. Red, white, and black on her helmet, blocker, catcher, and pads as Neuer comes in to win a face-off. Volkers and Prosser with her. Long pass to Prosser. She plays it to Neuer. Neuer tries to slip. Puck played back and Volkers is there. She sword fights, wins the battle. Puck is chipped in deep. Confirmed. Our technical director, Al Bundy. Oh, backhand chance from Volkers. Just about buries one. She plays it back to Nyberg. Gaps are tight. Girls are taking space away. So Neuer tries a centering attempt. It's blocked. It's Prosser. She centers. Smacked out by Boston. It's going to go all the way down. We're going to play on, although it may have been iced by Boston. A nice little backhand play from Nyberg to Prosser. Bouncing biscuit. Corralled. Fast forwarded. Kind of a reply all as Volkers with a nice bit of stick handling, shot sails wide, pushed up, peeled back. Number 26 from Boston with some nice underhandling, plays it off the boards. Harns is there. Harns and Preston trying to do some damage here. Puck played to Hardwick. Girls try and stretch the rink horizontally. McDonough can't get the handle. It's Hardwick to retrieve. She plays up to McDonough. We got room to work. McDonough builds speed. She slides one over to Willow Harns. Harns puts one off the shoulder pad. So terrific play as the puck is back to Hardwick. Long shot. Harns with another chance. Willow Harns is Johnny on the spot. The Weeping Willow as Preston tries to find her once again. Puck is played back by Boston. They gain the red, full send. Ellie Hardwick sends one to the far blue line. Nolander stretching the zone, so Nolander brings to the goal line. She keeps it forehand. She's looking for Hardwick. Pass is deflected, reaches its destination. So every path has puddles. There's bumps in the road. It's touch and go as Stevens tries to edge Daniels off a puck. It goes to the far side. Stevens a step late, but the change is on time as Bundy spins. She puts it deep. 12:22 remaining. 15-minute periods here. 27 minutes left of high-intensity hockey. This will be the first of 2 games for the winner of this matchup, as the winner of this game will face the winner of the Western Selects and the Toronto Pro Hockey as the puck is chipped by Stevens. Put back. Sims is in the top of the slot as it escapes her reach. Bundy, one of the fastest 2012s in the state of hockey, keeps the zone as Stevens dumps to Donahue. To Stevens. Oh, puck is loose for Nolander. Would have been an easy tap in, but a spinning, bouncing puck is no easy matter as Boston gains. Puck is played off the wall. Boston has a 2-on-1. They slide it over, and they fire right into Kayla Eaton. So Boston's best chance to tie this game falls short as they shoot him in the gut. Boston wraps. Short side attempt. Kayla holds the post. Boston is swarming. The Bees are buzzing. Bundy tries to clear. There's numbers back for Boston. Kilborn plays to number 6. One-time shot deflected high by Zins. Stevens smartly grabs a puck and sends it all the way down. So a much-needed line change as, again, the Nolander, Stevens, and I'm not sure who else, Donahue line gets trapped. So girls are going to have to try and make quicker changes from neutral because 2 times we've seen that line trapped. Boston gaining momentum. 1-0 game. Minnesota glassing out. Volkers picks up speed. She plays up to Neuer. Play on off the end wall. Neuer picks up a puck on the side of the net. Very dangerous player as she zips and zags and she feeds one to Volkers. Volkers straightens up, loses the lie of her stick and can't get the shot off. Neuer again says, let's draw something else up. Boston picks up a puck. They play out of the corner. Hardwick and Nyberg back. Puck goes through Nyberg, and the forecheck is strong. Puck is smart. Oh, they have at least 7 players on the ice. No big deal. That's what it might take to beat this juggernaut team. Hardwick pushes up to Volkers. Volkers plays to Prosser. She's tied up. Good aggressive play by number 72 from Minnesota, who wins a puck to Neuer. Neuer smartly plays it up the wall. Prosser tries to chip it up the wall. She's gaining ground 1 inch at a time as Volkers loops. She tries to little toe drag and breaks the blue. 1-on-4. Let's send in some new players. Christian and Bundy out on defense. Harns, McDonough, and Preston as a puck sails to the near side. Stepped up by Christian. They're going to call that deflected as Bundy comes in full speed to try and win a puck. Preston gathers. She plays to the blue line. Abel is able to hold. Christian hits the brakes. She's looking for an outlet. She goes weak side, where again Boston has personnel problems. Christian controls. Plays a backhand pass to McDonough. It's a little bit beyond her reach. Number 9, Philbin from Boston plays one in on Eaton. This is about the most even we've seen shots through these games. If you're watching at home, give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Keep cheering for your team, Minnesota. It's a little early for popcorn, but I'm telling you, get your popcorn ready. Puck up to Norlander. Norlander can't quite get the handle. Donahue tries to carry around. She's got players. She slips. Donahue with a crafty move as she builds speed through neutral zone. Donahue thinks shot, looks to possess, centers a puck. It's in the net. Elena Norlander, 2012 All-Star from Lakeville, Minnesota. Winner of the Selects tournament with her father, Steven, running the defensive door here. So a canceled breakout for Minnesota carried all the way down the ice by Donahue. Donahue throws it to the front, and Elena Norlander gets enough wood on it to chip it up high. So the Boston fans cannot be liking this 2-0 lead. Not insurmountable, but unconventional as a puck is played by Volkers. Back by Prosser. So Zoe Neuer sets up Evelyn Volkers. Look at the back-checking effort here by Volkers as she fills the middle. Kilborn plays one deep to Bailey. Bailey tied up with Zins. Zoe Neuer comes in. She's staying between the puck and the net. She plays her position perfectly. Zins is a lover and a fighter. She loves the puck and she fights Boston players off of it. Zins breaks the blue. She gets ridden out by Boston, but it's plays like that, a lot of heart and soul, that produce scoring chances like the one you just saw from Elena Norlander. 7:19 left in the second period. We're halfway through the contest. This is when we're starting to look for a team like Boston to make a goalie change? Maybe not. So halfway through, Minnesota's up 2-0 as Preston chips one in. May have hit a glove on a bench player, but we're going to keep it rolling. Boston up the near wall. Nyberg gets good body position, and she comes to her forehand, throws one to center. Can Willow break this loose? Willow steers the player aside. Puck to the wall. And Swim with a stroke. This line from Boston has been their most effective as a turning shot steered wide by body blocks. Minnesota packing it in, playing great defense as usual. Forwards getting in the way, staying in the play. Abel is not able. Donahue plays one in. She says, time to go. Donahue, the American hero, comes back in the play. It's Stevens, Donahue, and Norlander as Bundy gathers. So we're going to have an offensive zone draw. We've got about 6 minutes without a whistle. We've got about 4 games with the same ref. And it's 2-0 Minnesota. So we are going to see a goalie change here. Number 30 checks out. She did a pretty good job. Miss Coram. We have a new goalie in net. First thing you want to do is get some pucks on her. So Stevens pushes down to Donahue. Donahue outlasted by the Bruins. Hardwick can't hold the line, but holds the zone. A turn and a misfire from Boston. It's going to go all the way down for an icing call. So a little miscommunication. Things are getting a little bit tense, a little hectic, a little frantic. All kinds of antics this weekend. We've had a lot of fun with the parents from Minnesota combining for fun stories and experiences, line dancing, barbecue, as the shot is blocked by Pinney. Pinney plays off the wall, backhanded deep by Christian. Stevens looks to retrieve. Stevens dives in on the end wall where Christian joins her. Puck is played off the hash. Boston with lots of room to work. They try to play it up. Minnesota's there to play it out. It's Adriana Stevens from Forest Lake joining the play. Wide pull by Daniel. Daniel, number 98, sets up a high shot. High, hard shot, gloved by Eaton. She can't swallow it up, but boy, what an opportunity for Boston as they play a regroup around. Hardwick picks up the puck. Stevens is there. She gets stopped, dropped, and rolls it up to Donahue. Donahue, short side high. It's a goal. Boom. They say, don't poke the bear. Amelia Donahue from Stillwater high fives the sign like it's a Selly button. So Donahue picks up her second point of the game. Both plays off the same wall. First on a direct assist to Nolander, and now just a short side high. So first shot goal against the new goalie. So much for that goalie change. 3-0 Minnesota as Nyberg plays down the wall. Puck comes back up. It's Kilborn clearing to Zins. Flaherty, Bailey. Bailey tries to outlast. She can't speed match. Kilborn tries to spin. Puck is played deep by Neuer. Neuer, dangerous player. Strike while the iron's hot, Minnesota. Let's go, girls. Centering attempt blocked by Philbin. One-timer by Zins plays off the far pad. Produces a juicy rebound. Prosser plays one to the front of the net. Puck is up by Boston. They zoom along. Nyberg stands her up and removes speed from Bailey. Boston players wear number 41. Minnesota wears 72. So unconventional numbers, unconventional methods. Oh, a toe drag release by Nyberg is gloved by the Boston keeper. Boston goalie with white pads, white blocker, white catcher, black helmet, neon green cage. Her nickname may or may not be Gravedigger. As Preston digs in and rips a long shot through traffic. Preston with a second attempt. And a third attempt with the backhand to no avail. Boston throws to the side. Christian is collapsing the zone as she tries to center a puck to McDonough. Boston wheels. Preston is there. Some sword fighting. They survive the stick checks and they play to the far side. Bundy wins the race. She gets tied up by number 11. And Preston is there, but puck is won by Boston. Minnesota sends two. It's Preston and Christian. Their fusion is enough to win the ball back. Preston plays deep, looks to gain. Minnesota gets a center change. Neuer is on the ice, so multiple centers on the ice for Minnesota. Good strategy as Preston picks up a puck, tries to play it across, it's intercepted. Grogan plays one deep, it's picked up by Harns. So Harns plays the role of a defenseman, is able to, any out is a breakout at this point. With just over 29,000 viewers, we appreciate each and every one of you. As a body check by Philbin drops Neuer. Zoe Neuer played on the Roseville Squirt A team this year with the boys. Christian rips a slap shot. Kick saved by number 5. So Christian and Newer are back on defense. Stevens. Oh, we've got a whistle here. It looks like it's a defensive zone penalty. She knows it's her. She's going right away. So number 5 is going to take a seat. Interference is the call. Dineen is going to sit for 2 minutes. There's a minute and a half left. I want to talk about Minnesota's power play here. Minnesota runs a 1-3-1. It's been very effective. High percentage power plays. If your popcorn is ready, let it sit. Keep an eye on these dangerous players here as Bundy and Newer back on D. Preston and Nolander. Puck goes D to D. It's Newer to Bundy. Long bouncing shot steered wide by the keeper. Stevens picks up the puck. Plays it to Newer. Newer to Bundy. To Newer. Newer looks to play the seam. She shoots through traffic. Swallowed up by the goaltender from Boston. How much time is left, you might ask? There is 1 minute remaining in the period. Boston gets a late change. The away team is awarded the last change for some reason. 5 for Minnesota, 4 for Boston. It's a power play. Newer chips one in. Penny is told to ice it by her dad. Doesn't work. Newer picks up. She's wheeling on her forehand. We've seen some wraparounds. Little handoff to Preston. Long shot in the net. So 40 seconds remain, 1 minute 11. So without a goal here in the second period, the power play will carry over to the tune of about 30 seconds. Preston. Face-off won by Boston. Abel tries to gather. Preston adds pressure. Volkers enters the chat. Bundy carries low. She's centering attempt to Preston. Just can't quite get it as we play from Preston to Volkers to Bundy. Long shot. Kick saved by Abel. Bundy regains. She looks to Newer. Plays it back to Palmer. Prosser tries to center. Newer is tied up, and Bundy keeps the zone. Boston's able to ice the puck, but we're going to face off at center ice after a quick intermission. 50 minutes into the broadcast, 30 minutes into the game, Team Minnesota with a 3-0 lead. Quality chances are coming up us, so appreciate everybody in the land of lakes for tuning in. In Minnesota, the trees are budding and the grass is turning green. In Nashville, Tennessee, things have been going and growing for a while, so it's been fun to drive through the stone bluffs and see the foliage of the Tennessee hillside. Saw a couple moonshiners up there. What is the score, you might ask? It's 3-0 Minnesota going into the third period. 30 seconds remain on the Boston penalty, so Minnesota with the man advantage. We'll see if any adjustments are made here as neither team... Oh, Vince Stevens has his board out. Boston's coach with some words of encouragement for his players. The fans say, "Let's go Minnesota." Hard to argue. Kayla stretches out, checking her iron, magnetizing her posts. A quick change is made and Preston comes in. So it's Preston, Stevens, Nolander, Bundy, and Newer. So goals by Donahue, Nolander, and Harns as a drop pass to Nolander. Back to Newer. Newer tries to center. Stevens is there but can't quite get a piece of it. Preston with a long shot. Lands in the Kroger cart. Bundy tries to center. It's Preston with another chance. She's tied up in front. Nolander. Elena Nolander. The penalty has expired. That was the quickest 30 seconds of my life as Boston tries to get past Bundy. No lifeguard as Swim brings a puck to the front. Dietzig picks up a puck. Long shot gets shins. It's Nur, not Zins. A bouncing puck is cleared. Picked up by Stevens. She gets angled off by Dietzig. Dietzig chucks it back where Stevens regains. She catches a little more contact. So every inch is a mile here on semifinal Sunday. The girls play around the wall. Hardwick is there. She's a tough customer. Long shot into Stevens. Stevens looks to go for it. Stevens gets pinned and Boston plays up the wall to Hardwick. Hardwick from the far hash puts a shot on. Good save, juicy rebound. These girls are definitely end of shift. Volkers is here. Prosser replaces Stevens. Puck is played right up the middle to Prosser. Prosser pushes it a little bit beyond her own reach. She got excited with that opportunity. And the puck is played to the near wall. Nyberg takes a shot. Nyberg with a shot on target. Swallowed up by Boston's goalie. So Minnesota's had just as much offense from their defense as they have from their forwards in this tournament with goals, assists, tips, wraparounds, one-timers, power play. We've had everything but a shorthanded goal in this tournament. Boston picks up speed. Number 10 sends it in deep. 98's there to retrieve. It's Daniel. Neuer out last. Plays up to Volkers. Just beyond her reach, McDavid. Connor McDavid. As puck is played from Neuer to Volkers. Volkers walks in. Rips a shot. It's blockered. It's in the crease. It's in the net. So Volkers to Neuer to Volkers. And Evelyn Volkers scores. Oh, actually, Zoe Neuer says, giddy up. Let's go. 4-0. Riding all night because she sleeps all day. Zoe Neuer picks up the goal from a sitting position. Tray tables in the upright position as we land at 4-0. Nice little 2-on-1 play as a bouncing puck lands on the runway and gets tapped in by Neuer. Big collision. Christian comes in. They play it back to Christian. She sidesteps one defender. A wide pull gets chipped loose as Willow has a decision here. She tries to play to Preston. McDonough gains behind the net. She gets angled, pinned, and Boston looks for a way out. There's nowhere to go. Christian plays one deep for McDonough. Maeve McDonough with a forehand attempt, and it's in the net. So Christian to McDonough, it's 5-0. This is a runaway train. It's a crazy train. Aye. Doo-doo, doo-doo, McDonough. Doo-doo, doo-doo, McDonough. 5-0 Minnesota. What is happening? Oh, they're going to give the other team a couple goals. No, we'll keep it 5-0. Okay, so some scoreboard confusion as Christian turns. She plays one across the ice to McDonough. So Christian and McDonough, can we get another one? We're here for the needy, not the greedy. We're going to keep some goals. Hopefully put some in our back pocket for a little later today, if you know what I'm saying. Bundy pinches. She controls. Plays a spin. Forehand to Donahue. Donahue, the playmaker with a goal. 1 goal, 1 assist for Amelia Donahue as she plays at the blue line. Versatility is shown. Christian plays one in. Stopped by Boston. They turn it the other way. It's a 3-on-3. We're at the lumberyard. Donahue picks up. Donahue chips one deep. It's a very nice play as it played by Boston up the wall. Boston gets a puck past Christian, and it's Hardwick with the puck. Off skates. Update from the other side of things here at the Bellevue as Christian fans. Fake pass. Hardwick bails out. Warroad backing up the Orno. Puck is played to the weak side to Stevens. Stevens, it's a 3-on-2. Stevens tries to shot. 73 blocks it. Update from the other rink. It's 3-3 between Toronto Pro Hockey and Western Selects. We got a penalty call here as Nolander gets stood up behind the net. And I think they're going to take number 5 for her second penalty of the game. So things are just coming up us as Dineen opens up the door and she's going to get to sit for a little bit. Minnesota sends out 5 players on the power play. Volkers to Newer, long shot, stick to side. So another Preston face-off win provides an offensive opportunity. Newer with the puck. Newer picks up a loose puck and walks behind the net. They look to set up. Centering attempt off skates to Volkers gets steered aside, and it's Prosser. Prosser off the pads. Volkers tries to can the breakout. You know the deal. And Hardwick fans, she looks far side. Preston with a little room to move. She backhands one to the center. Puck is played behind the net. Volker's a little, now you see me, now you don't. She stays forehand. Cuts back at the goal line. Micro one-timer. It looks like it might have been stopped by a Minnesota or Boston skate. That looked like it was a for sure far side low goal. As Minnesota gets the change here, we're sending Zins, Harns, McDonough at forward, Nyberg and Bundy, the Lakeville duo from the Land of Lakes. 9 minutes left in the third period here. Things are, like I said, things are tied up on the other side. Things are wide open here. This is a 5-0 shellacking going on as Minnesota is able to pretty much do whatever they want. This is not a team that we've seen in the past. They are lacking firepower. I don't want to poke the bear, but Minnesota made McDonough. So it goes Zins to Bundy to McDonough. A nice goal there as she puts her sword in the sheath and picks up the 6th goal. Not sure if we're going to kick the extra point. There's 8 minutes left. We're in running time in the third period. Power play goal by McDonough, assisted by Zins and Newer, I believe. Zoe's moved back to defense. They want to keep some steam in that engine. Zoe Newer is the spark plug of Team Minnesota, creating lots of opportunities. Puck is played off the wall by Boston. Boston sidesteps Nyberg. Long shot wide. So with limited opportunities, Boston would do well to get the puck on net. As Donahue plays up to Stevens. Stevens tries to cut back. It's Barnes. Boston passes up and up again. Allison Zins enters the chat. Long shot, short angle, blockered into the netting by Kayla Eaton. So we're in running time here. I'm going to try and set you up to see the clock. There's under 7 minutes remaining in a 6-0 game. Minnesota in full control. The talking heads from Boston would say, how did I get here? Well, Boston won their quarterfinal game yesterday. Minnesota advances past a pesky little CJR team led by Tommy and Ella. But they're on their way home as an alley-oop backhand centering attempt. Nobody home. Sometimes you can be so deceptive, your own players are watching what's going on. So in the action yesterday, the Boston Bruins defeat Manitoba Junior Ice to the tune of 3-1. Minnesota Girls Black National Elite squashes the Connecticut Junior Rangers 2-0 as a shot steered aside by Boston's goalie. Bundy collects. Bundy plays over to Preston. On the other side, we've got a tie game at 3-3 last we checked between Toronto Pro Hockey and the Western Selects. Western Selects easily vanquished the Team Minnesota Purple 5-1. And Toronto Pro Hockey shuts down Minnesota Machine Orange 2-0. So Machine Orange is shut out in their last 2 games. Under 5 minutes here as Minnesota gains another. So chances for Minnesota, they're averaging about 40 shots a game. They're averaging about 10 shots against, making light work out of their opponents. Puck is played back to Hardwick. Hardwick leans into a wrist shot off the cage. Bundy comes in. McDonough centers to Bundy. It's intercepted by Boston. And Bundy gets knocked off her feet by a charging swim. Harns, McDonough, and Nolander now switches for McDonough, and Nolander is fresh. Picks up a puck, plays 1-on-4, gains us a change as Donahue and Stevens join the party. Nolander does a nice job to keep until it's Stevens. Stevens to Christian. Christian sidesteps, fires a shot off the Bruins logo, and they play back up the wall to Christian. Christian with a spinning move to Donahue. Donahue and Stevens do some work. Aggressive defensive play has kept the zone and allowed these forwards to just play 3-on-3 down low, where they've obviously have a lot more experience than some of these other teams as Stevens hits the brakes. She's on her backhand. She plays back to Christian. Christian with a forehand backhand pull blocked by the defense. Rebound put on by Stevens. Stevens tries a wrap. No go. And it's Christian again with a board slip. So she tries to lock one in. Fast forward to Stevens. She got a stick on it. Didn't know where it went. Puck chipped in on Eaton. Eaton keeps the play alive as Nyberg builds some speed. 2 crossovers and a pass to Donahue. Elena Nolander in your living room. Plays it to Donahue. 3 minutes left in the third as Christian plays one to Stevens. I feel like we've been watching Christian and Stevens play here for about 2 minutes straight. Christian and Stevens continue their power play as they push it over to Evelyn Volkers from Elk River. Elkvelin Volkers. Christian, again, walks one in, fires a short angle shot across the front of the net, and Nyberg is there to hold the zone. So the girls are kind of putting on a clinic. You might call this a summer training program, as Boston is struggling to create any offense here. Puck is chipped in. Number 5. Served 4 minutes. Plays a puck off the side of the cage. It's centered. It's picked up by Prosser with a nice pass to Elkvelin. Elkvelin plays a lot of unstructured hockey at the pit. The hanky pit. As she plays one to Zins. It's a one-timer. The putback by Palmer Plinko Prosser, who scored 3 goals off tips and rebounds. Newer with a long shot. Gets chested out of play, and Zins picks it up. So, minute and a half left. The girls are taking their last shift. Kind of a victory lap as they know they're going to play again. If you're just joining us, it's a 6-0 game. Minnesota scoring first in all 6 games. They've never been behind in this tournament. A far cry from their championship in Las Vegas, their championship in Orange County was pocked by a 5-0 loss to Boston. So the girls from Minnesota trying to stretch this out here as Boston gains the zone. I think this is a little bit of payback as there's 1 minute left in the game. McDonough to Harns. Tries to go back to McDonough. Minnesota with the change. Boston with numbers back. Addie Preston tries to play short side high. Blocker. Defense is pinching into the play. Boston has no breakout here as McDonough picks up a puck. She looks for a friend. She plays it to Preston. Preston with her long reach gains a puck to Hardwick. Back to Preston. Under 30 seconds in the contest. Harns with a pin. Preston is in. McDonough leaves with the puck. Christian and Hardwick are over the top here. Micro one-timer. Christian gets skates. Hardwick with a backhand catch. As we're down to 3, 2, 1. We've got a final to report here, so we're paying attention now to what's happening on the other side of the ice as our technical director Al Bundy comes in. Toronto Pro Hockey with a 5-3 lead, 1 minute left. Minnesota doing Minnesota things, proving why they're the state of hockey. This 6-0 is a big payback for what happened out in Anaheim at the OC Freezeout, where Boston served Minnesota their only imperfect game, and Minnesota wins the rest. So if you're a Minnesota fan, you may be saying, who's going to beat Boston for us? Well, Minnesota takes it into their own hands. Settles this beef once and for all, but it's more of a to be continued than a final, as these teams will no doubt meet again in the future. So Minnesota saves their energy, going to go have some bananas and orange slices as they're going to play likely Toronto Pro Hockey. Team Minnesota and Toronto Pro Hockey have not played against each other in my memory since the 2009s lost an overtime championship at the Charleston, South Carolina down low, whatever they call it. So coaches Stevens, Nolander, Hardwick, and Newer are victorious, and please come join us in a little bit as the girls try and capture their third Rose Series championship. Good night.